So welcome to the second session, folks. Last week we talked about how getting your business right up to the top of Google is, for any local business, is absolutely vital. And we went through the processes of getting your Google business listing set up properly, optimizing images, etc. And that recording is on YouTube if anyone missed it. And contact me later for a link to that, and I'll give you that. So this week's about getting your website actually working to do what websites are supposed to do. I'll go through those. There's only three things that they're supposed to do. I'll go through that in a minute, but anyone want to put their hand up and say what you want your website to do, what its purpose is?
Information.
The customers.
Who was that?
Tricia.
Hi, Tricia. Tell me more.
I guess give people enough of a impression about what I do to help them to make the decision to book an appointment with me.
Yep, that's not a bad idea. Anyone else?
Our website's basically there to sell product, but to give people information as well, and to hopefully solve some problems that they might have in finding the gear that we're offering.
Right. Justin, if you can unmute yourself, what's your website designed to do?
Hi there. It is to give people a way of contacting me, and also setting out what I do as a business.
Okay. Louise, what's your website?
Visibility, I guess. And take payments.
Take payments, yeah, it's good. Louise, what's your website primary purpose?
Primary. Well, I guess the ideal is that it's to convert sales.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, for me, it's a way of having that information so that it can answer the questions to lead to the sale.
Yep, not bad.
So,
Janine, what's your website designed to do?
My website's been pretty static, and I'm actually redesigning it at the moment, but I'm changing my plans kind of every day, because I'm now thinking that my website should actually be a news generating site for my clients, given that the current state of journalism and news is changing. And my options to get news out for my clients are changing quite significantly because of all the magazines and stuff shutting every day. And so I'm thinking now that I need my website to be very findable with my own client news on there, and to be generating news myself. So doing a lot more content generation than I have in the past. Normally I would just, I would have direct contact with journalists and pitch stories to them and that kind of thing. But given the media is changing so rapidly, I think I'm going to have to turn that more into a content generation.
Yes.
On behalf of my clients, yeah. A news site of its own right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Look, just to give you some clarity on what a website's job is. In most small businesses, a website only has three purposes. The rest of it is all just air and fluff. But essentially, the first purpose of a small business website is to be found when people are Googling for what you sell. And if you're not on the front page, the first page for those search terms, you may as well be nowhere. So that's the first thing. If you can't be found at the top of a search result for whatever it is that you sell in your local area generally, then your competition is getting most of that business. So that's number one. The second most important result that you want is to make sales or get appointments and bookings. Yeah, that's number two. That's it. That's its job. And the third thing is, if you don't get people picking up the phone or buying online, the third thing is to use that traffic, the visitors to the website, to actually give you their contact details so that you can market to them on an ongoing basis. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah.
So those three things are the things that you need to be concentrating on. Everything else is subordinate to that. So I'll give you some examples of what I mean. I'll need to share my screen. So let me go through that. So here's a website that we look after for. It happens to be a childcare business in Melbourne, owned by a couple in Margaret River. So that's the main page of their website. But you'll see here, get $500 free credit for first-time enrolments at Apple Blossoms. And when you click on one of their three centres, it takes you through to a page that looks like this. Now, you'll notice that there's no other navigation on this page. So the only thing that people can do on this page is to go down here and fill in that form. That's all they can do. This page is used, we run their Google and Facebook advertising campaigns. So when people click on the ad in Google or Facebook and come through to this page, that's all they can do. It's quite possible that you can have an opt-in page like this for people who come to your website organically, and it will still have, it's a separate page. It looks exactly the same, but it has navigation. So you can get back to the home page if you've come here from or an organic search. But this one was designed just for to take traffic from advertising. Mm-hmm. So that page for this particular centre has lifted their, well, before they all had to shut down, of course, that page has lifted their enrolment up to about 80% capacity from about 67% over a period of some few months. And in the childcare business, that's a lot of money, as you would imagine. I'll give you another example. Here's a website we built for a business in Melbourne, another business in Melbourne. Again, this happens to be a hairdressing salon, but it doesn't really matter. The structure is exactly the same. You'll see up the top here, the phone number. And if you look at this site on your mobile, the first thing you'll see is that phone number, because the second most important thing for this website is to get phone calls and bookings. So there's a phone number and a book online button right at the top. Bearing in mind that 70 or 80% of people are looking at this on their mobile phone. So you don't want them to go hunting for your contact details. The last thing you want is for people to go, because people generally have the concentration power of a budgie. So I'll get to this, and if it's not obvious where to find you, where to find your contact details, they'll get bored or go away and find somebody else. The third thing on this site is this thing here. And this is what I'm talking about, is a lead generator. So let's say that 1,000 people come to this site, and a small percentage of them actually make a phone call or book online. What are you going to do with the rest of the people who come to the site and don't make a phone call or book online? Well, you've got to offer them something in exchange for their contact details. So in this particular case, we run this site, and these are the stats for that particular opt-in form, that one there. I've just brought up February this year. They're all the people who have filled in that form on a daily basis, 48 of them. So there's 48 people who are potential customers of that business. Now, over a period of 18 months or 12 months or thereabouts, 1,155 people have filled in that form. We know because we capture all the stats. And of those 1,155, that salon has turned 450 odd of them into customers. And if you work out the average, let's say that the average first time sale for that customer is let's call it $100, 450 in a year times 100, do the maths. It's a lot of business, and that's only for people who come in for the first time. So then you work out what the average lifetime value is of that customer over, let's say, 12 months, and they're spending, say, $1,000 on their hair in a year. 450 is 450 grand in gross revenue. Any questions on that so far? You're trying to think how you can massage that structure into your own websites and your own businesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyone struggling to figure that out? Pretty straightforward, isn't it? So I'll give you some...
That conversion rate, 1.8%, is that the sort of figures you'd expect?
It varies, Tony. We've got other opt-in rates of 7, 8, 9, 10%.
Right.
But they get an enormous amount of traffic to that website, simply because if people will Google hair salon Berwick, which is the suburb they're in, they're there.
You're not showing, not sharing.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. That's them there, right at the top of the search results.
Mm.
And that's them there on page 1. So they get an enormous amount of traffic coming to their website. Organic traffic I'm talking about, because we're not running any ads to this. This is purely organic traffic. So I'll give you another example. Here's a website that we built for a business in Canberra. Well, this is just the landing page of the website. So that's their opt-in form, book now, and when they book, they actually pay. So, give you an idea, this is their sales just of that offer from the 1st of January to the 29th of February this year. They're all the people who have come through to that page and actually booked and paid. $5,964 just from that little landing page. That's pretty powerful, do you reckon? Where's another one? Here's another one we did for a similar business in Sydney. Now, we've stopped running this at the moment because they've had to close down because of coronavirus. But if you look at the stats for that, in a 3-week period, March the 4th to March the 23rd, 41 people filled in that form in 3 weeks. That's 2 a day. And that's people actually saying, yes, I want it, and booking and paying. Okay, so who can do that? Who can see a way of actually implementing that structure?
Yeah, I can, because we do online sales, for our products, so easily we can implement something like that. Okay,
so what's your website?
Crunchpreserves.com.au.
Crunch Preserves.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, let's go have a look at that. Okay. Do you sell mostly locally?
Wholesale is WA, but online is Australia-wide.
Okay. Now, why don't you have a phone number up here?
Don't know.
Well, imagine this on a mobile phone.
Right.
I want these preserves. I've heard about it. I come to the website on a mobile phone. Oh, where's the damn... I just want to phone them.
Right.
Where's the damn phone number? I can't find the phone number. You don't want to make people jump through hoops and make it hard for them to buy from you. So on a mobile phone, remember that they've got the phone in their hand Now, that phone number isn't hot.
Okay.
By that, I mean I can't just touch it on my phone and it calls you. So I've got to go out of this website to my phone app on the phone.
Yeah.
Remember the phone number and call.
Yeah.
It's all too hard.
Yeah.
So try not to make it hard for people to buy from you.
Okay.
It's a common thing when websites are designed by graphic designers who think it's all about pictures and making it look pretty.
Yeah.
It's actually about functionality first.
Okay.
So always think of it from the point of view of your customer. I've come to this website. I'm ready to buy. How do I buy?
Yeah. Okay.
Always think, okay, most people are doing this on their phone. Mm-hmm. Whereas you look at your websites on a desktop and it really looks pretty and it's easy to find stuff, but on a tiny little phone screen, much, much harder.
Okay.
Now, also on that site, it would be easy for you to have some kind of opt-in form.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we can offer them, money off, free shipping or whatever it is, their first order or...
Yeah, you could, yeah. Or you could even just get their name and email address in exchange for, here's how we make our preserves. And it's a PDF that they can download, which is really a sales document for your business.
Okay.
If they're interested in your preserves, they will download it because it's free.
Okay.
That then goes into your database. You can then set up a structured marketing campaign to those people.
Okay.
You could market to them via your YouTube channel. So you could email them and, oh, look, we've just done this new video on preserving apples. Check it out.
Okay.
And it clicks through to your website where you've put your YouTube video on a special page for YouTube videos. Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone else can work out a way of generating leads from their website? Come on, Janine, you could be able to. You should be able to do that. You're muted. I've unmuted you. No, you're still muted. There we go.
I was actually thinking more on behalf of my clients then about some of them. Someone I'm working for at the moment is Bustleton Hospice, and I was thinking about them in terms of what they could provide for, to add to their database, because that's one thing that they don't have, and I've been trying to get them on board with that, and we've just started an e-news for them. So trying to think of what they could offer in return, but they've got, as you said, PDFs of grief counselling support and things like that we might be able to give them access to something or someone, a counselling session or something like that they might be interested in finding out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's dozens of ways to skin the cat, but whatever you do, try to capture some of that traffic with some kind of opt-in device. Otherwise, you're just wasting a hell of a lot of traffic. Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyone else can figure out a way of implementing a structure like that?
Can I ask a question, Greg, about the just the format of how you deliver that opt-in page or the sign-up box? Do you have an opinion about the sign-up boxes that pop up in front of people as a pop-up, as opposed to just having it more passive sitting on the first page?
I don't have any figures, Tricia. I don't know. I mean, you would have to test it before you make a decision on that, and it varies from site to site. Yeah.
I just hear people in conversations talking about their use of websites, saying that they find it really annoying when those pop-up boxes, it's sort of like, it feels like an imposition or pressure to sort of, it feels salesy to sort of have this box come up, sign up,
Yeah, it used to be very common in years gone by. Becoming less common now because people get annoyed by it.
And we're good at ignoring things now. We just close it and just carry on.
Yeah, and in fact, we don't use pop-ups in our websites.
Okay.
We tend not to because of that very reason. For example, you'll see here, this is the front page of one of our websites. So that's a video, that 30-second video, that's just me talking about what they're going to get. And they fill that in here. Now, organically, when we're not running ads to it, even organically, 200 to 300 people a month are filling that in around the world.
Right.
And we've got a fairly complex and extensive follow-up system in place that it takes a long time to build those properly, and you've got to adjust them and tweak them all the time. But that produces quite a lot of sales, that process itself. So bear in mind that if you're not directly selling to people who have visited your site, it depends on the business, but the crunch business is actually a sales business, yeah? So people coming to the site, the only reason they're coming there is because they're ready to buy. Whereas people coming to our site are not yet ready to buy, they're looking for information. And the way you offer an incentive to people who are looking for information is different from the way you offer an incentive to people who are actually looking to buy. But
in my business, Greg, people are more looking for information about me because I'm a counsellor. I'm not selling a solid product. I'm selling my services. So it's an interesting balancing act between having content there that gives people enough of an impression, but also getting them to take some action.
Look, the purposes of your site. What's your site? Let's have a look.
triciawoods.com.au.
Okay.
TRICIA.
Woods.com.au. Okay, let's have a look. I'll share it. Do you mind? Well, it's public
okay.
anyway, so.
I'll go under the microscope.
Okay. So you've got an opt-in there already. That's good. So what do you want people to do mostly when they come to this site?
I probably want them to go with the opt-in straight up because it's an audio of me speaking, and so it gives them quite a clear impression about who I am and how I come across.
Yep.
So it gives them, I think when people are wanting to book in with a counsellor, if they haven't got a direct word of mouth recommendation, they want to feel like they can get to know them a little bit.
Yep.
So, I've only just recently, I knew you were going to go through this sort of stuff, and I've been playing around with this website for 10 years all on my own. Changing it, doing all sorts of things. I've been writing blogs since 2011 because I love the writing part of it. But, so that audio is quite new. I've had various opt-in offers in the past, and I think my main issue, Greg, is the Google aspect of it because I just don't come up in any Google searches at the moment. Okay. And I haven't put any effort into the Google page at all. So
that's an SEO issue.
Yeah.
And that's really a separate thing to what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you have to get. Yeah. Yes, you have to get traffic to the site, and until it's organically listed, the only way you're going to do that is via references from advertising, from social media.
Yeah, social media is probably my main focus.
Okay. But when people are looking for a counsellor, they're not using social media. They're using Google.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. My marriage is falling apart.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah.
Google marriage counselling, Busselton or Dunsborough or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. So using social media and YouTube is social media. So using YouTube, which is owned by Google, to generate links to your website is going to help your SEO. Okay. Now, the first thing you want people to do is phone you and book an appointment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No phone number.
No.
Big bold phone number right at the top. What I would do with that site, Tricia, is similar thing to what we do here. Video of you talking right there on the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people want to do business with people, not faceless entities. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And they want to see and hear the people they're going to do business with.
Yeah.
So I would actually put your video there, just as we've done on one of our sites, and move this up here, because that image doesn't sell anything. It's basically a waste of real estate. Bear in mind, 70 or 80% of people are doing this on their phone.
Yes.
The first thing you want to come up on their phone is your phone number, and put your heart in charge. Doesn't sell anything. I'd change that. Marriage counselling or whatever you want to put, and a phone number.
Okay.
Easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then the best thing you can do is have pages written about with content that reflect what people are searching for.
Yes.
A page per search term, and just write a page of copy, and put a quick YouTube video on that page.
Yeah. So almost like a magazine, sort of. People can pop in and find a topic.
Well, they'll Google it. So financial stress.
Yeah.
I'm in financial distress. Google financial help.
Yeah.
And you're on there. Your article or page that you've written appears on their Google search. Oh, I better go and read this, and it will take them straight to that page. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. That's good. That's helpful.
Anyone else need? Yep.
Sorry,
Justin.
Greg, I was just going to pipe in for Tricia that with the pop-ups, last year Google put out a document to kind of like a how-to document for e-commerce, and they recommended not to use pop-ups at all.
Okay, great.
Pop-overs, not pop-ups, but pop-overs. So ones where there's no trigger point, or there is a trigger point, but it's not passive. Then yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Anyone else with a question on how they might use this strategy for their own site? Mel, how's yours looking?
I've got a bit of work to do on it over the next few weeks, which was my plan anyway when we slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
I've still got to update some of my photos and optimize everything on there as well. I use a WordPress, so I can put in tags and things like that into the back end of that with my photos. So I've been slowly doing that, and I've just been thinking about how I could maybe get people to ask for a downloadable copy of our product catalogue.
Yep.
So yeah, I've just been writing a few notes down about maybe implementing that somehow. Or
so you're an event organizer, yeah? Or an event supplier. Not too many events going on at the moment, but so people coming to your site, they're planning an event.
Yep.
Get our free event planning guide.
Yep.
Which is a document they download, which is a sales document for Cape Events.
Yeah. Okay.
So the document says, here's the things you need to be aware of when you're planning an event, and in headings, and under each of those headings, we solve this problem for you by doing X. a link back to your website.
Yeah, okay.
In the PDF.
Yeah.
Tricia, you could do the same.
Mm.
Download document, sales document. You're going through these problems. Here's how I solve it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Book a session with me, as you've got on your website at the moment. They can actually book it from whatever the download is. So they downloaded a PDF with a link in it to the buy now on PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You could actually redo this, or part of this, counselling by Zoom.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. That's what I'm doing.
As you've seen, look, you've got to be nimble about this.
Yeah, update it with
what's currently happening in the world. Okay, so we've had to redo this site because of coronavirus.
Yep.
So what we're doing is offering a solution based on what's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
Sorry, I got cut off because my kids turned on the music video.
As they do.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So if I could do something on my website where I could say, okay, download our PDF of recipes, sign up here type thing. Is there a way I can send that out as like an automatically, like an automated thing, or I have to physically go in and do it?
Oh, no, it's easy to send it out automatically. Easy.
But is that through my website then, or through my Gmail, or how do I do that?
I don't know how your website's constructed or what you've used for it.
Right.
But if you look at this site here, whenever anyone fills that form in, and that's a form we use. What do we use for that? Wufoo or lead pages. When you set it up in Wufoo, it automatically emails them with a acknowledgement that yes, we've got your request and here's your voucher, and you've got to have a system set up to automatically trigger something happening when people fill in a form for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your site built in?
Squarespace.
Squarespace. Okay. Well, I'm sure Squarespace has some kind of system in the back end that you can do that.
Yeah. I can find that out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, there is some infrastructure that you've got to implement to get all of this happening.
Yeah.
And it can't. And look, I'm not going to kid you. It's not easy. If it was easy, anyone could do it. 15-year-old kid with a laptop can build a website. Making it work it takes a bit of expertise and time and tedious grunt.
Yeah.
But once it's set up, it becomes an unpaid salesperson for the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why did you choose Squarespace?
Oh, because originally the person that was designing the site for me, that was what they recommended. But I've since changed to somebody else, and I do a lot of the maintenance of, the updates myself as well. I like it. I think it's really easy to use. I like it. Okay.
Just bear in mind that with platforms like Squarespace and Wix and Doodah, you don't ever own the website. They own the website.
Right.
So you can't simply stop paying them and move the site somewhere else.
Okay.
That's the downside. They're cheap.
Yeah.
But they're cheap for a reason.
Okay.
So, which is why the websites we build, we always build them using WordPress and Divi, and they can be moved anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So that's a fairly important consideration once the business gets bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
You might want to get to a point where you say, look, I want control.
Yeah.
See, the problem with a website is one of the only marketing assets that you control. You don't control Google, you don't control Facebook, you don't control Instagram. So if you rely almost entirely on those platforms, they can be taken away from you in a heartbeat. And you don't want that to happen. Facebook changes the rules every day, and they've closed accounts on a whim. So it's why your website and your email list are your two most valuable digital marketing assets.
Okay.
And they need to be treated with great caution and great respect, because you control them. Facebook doesn't control them. Google doesn't control them. So when you build on Wix or Squarespace or whatever, you're ceding control to those platforms.
Okay.
Ultimately.
It's good information.
Yeah. And so if you suddenly stop paying Squarespace, they'll take your website down.
Yeah.
Now, you've got, websites need maintenance and they've got to live somewhere. So yes, you've got to pay hosting fees for it to live on a server somewhere. So we look after hundreds of websites, and our servers are in Houston, Texas. But at least we control that.
Yeah.
In conjunction with our clients. Okay. Where else are we going to go with this? Who's got some other questions on how they can implement these strategies? Nobody? Okay. Let's have a look at a couple of other examples. Where are we? So we get to. Oh, here's another one. So this is a website for that we look after for a contracting company here in Dunsborough. Now they've got lots and lots of services, but they wanted to boost a particular service, pumping people's septic tanks out. Terrific job. So we constructed that landing page for them, and they get a constant stream of people coming to this from Google and hitting that request a booking button or making a phone call. Very, very simple landing page. They don't need to be a work of art. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Greg, can I ask your opinion on something?
Yeah.
My website developer has took my website as a project and has been making some quite big changes and things. It's still a bit of a work in progress, but a lot of the main work has been done. There's things that I'm still not quite happy with, some of the imaging and a few other things. But if you want to have a look, I'd appreciate feedback now because we're still in that transition stage.
Yep.
With regards to the contact number at the top, that was one of my first things I asked for, and we put it in, and then we took it off again because it was my mobile number. It kind of didn't fit right, and we took it away. I'm open to putting it back, but we just sort of, again, it was one of the things that didn't quite feel right.
Louise, you can get a landline number from Skype for next to nothing, and it's a 08 blah 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 number.
Okay.
And divert that to your mobile, and it's cheap as chips. It's pennies in the dollar.
Okay.
Again, important to have a phone number here. And Louise, I'd have a video of you here, because that picture doesn't do anything, does it?
Well, I think they look much nicer than me.
Louise, get over it.
You hopefully can't quite see on the video. I've had braces all year, and I was scheduled to have them off in about 2-3 weeks, and they've cancelled it because it's not an emergency treatment, and I'm devastated. But I told myself that once they were off, I would put myself out there more, but that'll have to wait.
Okay, but the principle remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
video of you there because people want to do business with people. And you're hiding behind your website. I can't see anything of the character or the personality in it.
But are people interested in me? Like with something like this, it's more about the businesses and the...
No.
You know, it's not... I can understand sort of where Trisha's coming from. Like that's really important because it's such a personal connection with her. I don't know.
As a Dunsborough local, I'm interested in you, Louise.
Oh, thanks, Trisha.
There you are.
Because I've heard of Local Advantage and I've lived here for 8 years and I've never signed up for it because I just haven't come across enough information.
Okay.
So Louise, you are the main salesperson for Local Advantage. Why do you hide it?
Never been good in front of the camera.
Well, look, hang on a minute. Right,
lack of confidence.
Let me just run.
Let's have a counselling session.
Yeah. I'm a 65-year-old bloke. Okay, I've got a great head for radio. I don't mind. I have to put myself in front of my business because people want to know who they're dealing with, not what they're dealing with. So I have to actually go front and centre with a video that's very, very simple, just like that. Salon marketing. Okay? Now, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, but you've got that background, Greg. Remember, you worked in TV for a long time, didn't you?
You have a very English, attractive voice.
Making me blush.
Look, it's what will sell. And what matters is what sells. So it's about getting out of your comfort zone and saying, oh, I need to focus on what sells. Yeah?
Maybe we need a separate session on how to confidently video yourself.
Look, move fast and break things.
You just got to do it. I've been making YouTube videos for a while.
Sorry, maybe just give it a go, Louise, and see.
You just got to do it.
What kind of feedback you get, and after you've seen it yourself 50 times, you won't feel embarrassed or cringe at it anymore. You just be, just become second nature. Possibly.
Right, so it's get your husband to hold the mobile phone in front of you like that, not like that. Go and stand in walking down the footpath in the shops in Naturalist Terrace, Dunby Road, and just practice it. Hi, I'm Louise from Local Advantage. If you want great discounts with local businesses, you've come to the right place. Local Advantage does this, this and this. It costs you next to nothing, a cup of coffee a week. Yeah?
Yep.
Simple as that. Tony at Whalers Cove. How do you sell your stuff online?
Well, we made some changes to our website to try and make it a bit more engaging, and we're looking to do more of that. And I use our email database fairly regularly. We've got about 3,500 clients on our database, and that usually prompts some good response. Okay.
What's the difference between Whalers Cove and Regency and blah 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 all along that strip?
It's hard to say. We have a good reputation, and we get a good lot of recommendations from and word of mouth clients, particularly from our Singapore clients.
Yep.
So we've done some basic Google ads in the last year, which has boosted our visitation. The owners have a committee that help be involved with the marketing. A year ago, they engaged a marketing company who did some terrible things to our website, and we've undone a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing social media and the Facebook and Google ads, and I've improved the visitation to our site well above what the professionals are so-called doing.
Yep.
And they claim to be doing SEO and charging for it, but when we found that they hadn't even logged into the website within a month but given us a bill, we said, well, how do you do that if you're not engaging on the website?
Okay. If you come back to me, Tony, because I can get one of our guys or girls to do a review of the whole SEO process on the site and see if it's been done properly. But
look, the session last week was really great, and our photos are not set up like that, and so yes, that's a process that I'll be going through. I've got access to the back end, and I do a lot of the updates myself.
Okay, but Tony, here's the thing. You've said that you get great feedback from people all over the place, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. Where is that feedback?
Yes, there's our reviews.
Where?
Just above the there's our reviews there. Review line.
But what about here?
Yeah. Front and center. Yeah.
And a video of somebody doing a walkthrough and introducing people to the great the villas.
If you scroll down, our video's just below that. So perhaps we need to get that up there in the center.
Well, this is lovely, but you know, it's a picture of a house.
Yeah.
There's no movement and action.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that the only reason people are coming to this site is that they want to book a place down in Dunsborough. And you need to grab them within the first 10 seconds and offer them something to get their name and contact details.
Yeah.
Okay? Download our free guide to the Southwest.
Yep.
So it's a video of somebody saying, welcome to Whalers Cove. You've made a great decision to come here. Fill in the form below me for our complete guide to touring the Southwest. You'll get it in your inbox in 20 seconds. And that document is some kind of sales document for Whalers Cove.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep, sounds good.
And you've got the phone number up there, which is great. Fantastic. How does the site rank?
It's that's an area I need to look at more. It's I think just on like a accommodation Dunsborough, we show up on the map section, but not necessarily in the organic search result.
Right, let's have a look. So, I mean, these rankings are controlled to a huge degree by the big three booking sites, booking.com, Expedia, etc. So the competition to be in here is enormous. Really, Tony, if you're going to want to, these booking people take 20 or 30% of your fees, don't they?
We only get about 20% of our bookings through the OTAs. So about 80% of our bookings are direct.
Okay, great. The only way you're going to appear on the front at the top here is by paid advertising.
Yep.
Because you know we're down here.
Yeah, and like you said, Google Ads is a minefield, and so for our recovery, I think we need to get some advice on Google Ads.
Talk to me about that, because we do them all the time, and I don't do them because it is a minefield. So my staff do them, and they do nothing. You know, I've got one person who does nothing but Google Ads, and she knows everything there is to know about Google Ads. So I don't even question her on it. I just go, right, you do that, and it works. So anybody trying to do Google Ads themselves is it's a nightmare. I wouldn't even bother trying.
Mm-hmm.
So call me after this session and I'll walk you through it.
Sure, thanks.
Because you don't want to be wasting any more money on Google ads that don't produce.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions on that, all of that process? Anyone need any other ideas? Jenny, you've been very quiet.
I'll unmute myself. No, I'm just listening in and just taking it in, Greg. So, I'll process it later and see what'll work for us.
What's the new site called?
It's christianfletcher.com.au.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I am happy. It's a vast improvement on our previous site. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, it's a visual business.
Yeah.
Got the video of Christian in there?
No, we haven't got a video yet, so we should probably do that.
Well, what's wrong with the video that you've been playing on television?
Yeah, we could put that in.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's a cracking video.
Mm.
And it introduces Christian as a human being.
Yep. Okay.
Not Christian as a model in a clothing shoot.
I didn't quite like that.
I'm sure you do, Jenny. You married him. But movement is what counts.
Okay.
So who is this guy? Who is Christian Fletcher? Right up the top here in the, on one side of that page. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Because he's the face of the business.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's personable and he speaks well. I mean, it's a cracking video.
Okay, thanks.
But it's all about creating content once and using it in multiple ways.
Okay.
Anyone else? Has that been helpful to everybody?
Yeah, thank you.
Shell?
Hi, Greg. I'm in an interesting situation. We engaged someone to recreate or update and ended up recreating a new website for us last year.
Yep.
Because I'm like, too hard for me. It's not my field of expertise. I'll get someone who can do it. So we paid a fair bit of money for that, and that the web page is nowhere near any sort of ranking. There's probably lots of gaps in it, like you would already hearing your feedback. I'm like, and we're missing video. We're missing a lot of things in it. I don't have access to control of any of that information. I'm not quite sure how I would get that. And we still have our old website up and running, but that does come up on some sort of ranking system, like front page or top of not top, but in the top first page.
Yep.
That's still live because I was too scared to get rid of that, because that actually does still generate some work, whereas the new one doesn't. We probably had 3 inquiries in 6 months from it.
Yep. What's the business, Shell?
I missed last week's session, so you've probably got lots of good stuff on there I need to look at, and you'll probably answer lots of questions. My business is Naturalist Commercial Cleaning. So in
Dunsborough? Well,
we service Dunsborough and Busselton, and that's the tricky situation I had hit with Google, was being a mobile. We don't have an office as such. We service lots of sites. So we weren't sure how to register with Google, basically, in Google My Business, to come up on their maps in both Busselton, Dunsborough, Yallingup, Margaret River, So, I'd love to know on that and how to deal with it.
We covered a lot of that in last week's session. That's on YouTube.
Right, I would love to get that link from you so I can have a look and catch up.
Yep.
I couldn't log. The other thing is our internet is so unstable. That's why I couldn't log on last week.
Okay, so there's a search for Cleaner Dunsborough.
Okay, so if you go down, so we can't come up on that. I don't know how to get up on that map, so hopefully there's some answers.
Do you have a Google business listing? Do you have a Google business listing?
But I don't think we've got an address. Yes, I believe we do.
Okay, what's the business
If
called
you go
again?
down further, Naturalist Commercial Cleaning.
Yep. There you are there.
Right. I don't know if that's the proper one. So how did you... What happens when you click that? I've never actually looked in it.
That's your Google business listing hasn't been set up properly at all.
Great.
Okay.
So that's something to work on?
Yes, that's a basic listing that Google has done themselves automatically. So your Google business listing is a mini website that's actually more important than your actual website in terms of search, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a website currently?
We got two. That's the problem. We got two websites.
It's down there. I saw it.
Yeah.
It's down there somewhere on that page.
Okay, this is your old website, yeah?
The new one doesn't come up in any search.
No, okay.
Oh no, this is the new one. That's the new one now.
That is the new one. Okay. Well, your Google listing is linked to that website.
The web designer might have done that.
Yeah, the web designer must have done that for you.
Yes, probably. But if the site hasn't been set up properly for SEO, it's not going to come up organically unless you actually search for your business name, but nobody's doing that. They're searching for Cleaner Dunsborough or Commercial Cleaner Dunsborough or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is
they
that
won't
you
know
there?
the name.
Is that you there?
Yes, that's our business. Yeah.
Right. So that's your old
one. That's the old website.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's obviously clunky and years old and no longer relevant, but it ranks.
Yeah.
So I would put that website on that domain.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to me. I won't bore people with the process, but talk to me afterwards.
Okay.
So you can get hold of me. You want to write down a phone number?
Yeah.
Tony, you want to write down a phone number?
Yep, thanks.
9443 9327.
Thank you.
Anyone want to give me a call? I'll walk you through some of these processes.
9443
9327. Bronwyn has just put up the YouTube link to last week's session in chat.
Oh, thanks, Bronwyn.
So you can copy that and paste it into Google. Now, here's one more thing, folks, that you need to know. If you're tidying things up in your website, you can see this screen here. See where it says up there, not secure?
Oh, that's another reason we went to another website.
Yeah, well, you didn't need to go to another website. What you need to do is you need to put that new website on that old domain and make the old domain secure. Shell, I'll talk you through it when you give me a call later, okay?
Like,
all right. So you need to check your websites to make sure that they've got a little padlock up here that says it's secure. If it's not secure, Google may put up a warning saying to visitors saying this site might not be secure. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. You risk your life if you come into this website. And it will also. I know we're all in a bit of grief at the moment with the coronavirus, and what that means is that to a greater or less degree, we're shut down. I know I have. Who's speaking at the moment? Who was that? Can't see who was talking. Say it again. Lost them. Okay, just make sure that up here in your website you've got a padlock and it says HTTPS. Every website should be HTTPS, so that one's okay. That one's okay. Sorry, what was that? Someone's fading in and out. Okay, we've got to end the session. Has that been useful?
Yes. Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right, Louise, off you go to do that video. Same with you, Tricia. And,
Tricia, let's have a chat first.
Yeah.
I'll give you a pep talk.
And Jenny, you'll get Christian's video up on the website.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Good
Okay. All right. Next week we're going to do a bunch of different things. So it's about advertising on Google and Facebook. So I'll take you through what you need to be aware of, and how to avoid wasting money on doing Google and Facebook ads that aren't set up properly. So anyone would like to join in on that one next Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. Beck, somebody, where's Beck? Beck raised a hand.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry.
We can't see your video, that's why you're not appearing on the screen.
No, I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay. What's your question?
No, I'm just raising my hand to say yes, I'm interested.
Okay. All right. Well, Bronwyn will send out the notification next week after Easter. But same place, same bat cave, same time. Thursday next week.
That's great. Shell, just couldn't help noticing you commenting that you're having trouble with your internet and your telephone.
Yeah.
Contact Fairtel, based in Bustleton. You get to talk to real people. They'll help you.
Yeah,
Right, thank you. Yeah, we're just pulling our hair out with people telling us devices that supposedly work and don't.
Okay. All right. Phone
you.
me after the session if any of you need help.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Greg.
Greg.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Have a good week. Have a good Easter. At home. See you later.
See you.
Cheers, bye.